You get such a good vibe. Run your fingers through my hair. Touch me everywhere. You gon' give it to me all night. I'm lost up in your shadow. I fuck with you cause I know ain't no loving anywhere. They do not compare. And I won't leave you solo. I can't say no.
Queen.
What's playing in the living room?
That is Can't Say No by Amber Hairston. She is a new single. She wrote that one. Beautiful. Love that song. I play it on repeat.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. So I am Sid the Great.
And I am Aisha Damali. Welcome to the Living Room 4440.
Yes, for all you new folks, because we know we have new listeners, we wanted to make sure we introduced ourselves. We are back.
I am Aisha Damali. I am the calm, cool, collected, conservative voice of this podcast.
Absolutely. All of that she just said is true. There's nothing to be inquisitive about.
Sid the Great is the raunch part of this podcast.
Oh, yeah. I'm just going to agree with whatever you say.
Okay.
Whatever you say goes. Actually, I'm Aisha Damali, and she's Sid the Great at this point.
Anytime you hear penis or anything vulgar, just think Sid the Great.
Absolutely. Yep. That's, you can check all that out on my Instagram page at Sid the Great.
Or on her website, sidthegreat.com.
Yep. That, you can check out my fans only page. It could be also clicked upon at sidthegreat.com /OnlyFans.
$25 a month, people. Pretty cheap.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I'm only worth $25 a month?
I think that's the average price. I don't know.
No, well, I'm never average. You know what I mean?
Oh, you're right.
So
if
everybody else's going rate is 25, mine has to be at least 50.
Okay, you're right. You're right, Queen. My bad.
Yeah, don't disrespect me, cuz.
You're right. I'm sorry.
So let's kick off month in review.
Oh, wait. We have a fun thing to do.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Shit. See, the vulgar. That's you. All right. So Sid and I wanted to play a little game for the people, a kind of icebreaker, so to speak, if you will. So we are going to play a game called Rapid Questions. And Sidney, I am going to attack you first. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm always ready to be attacked.
So I'm going to ask Sid the Great a series of questions. She's going to answer as quickly as she can. Probably not putting that much thought into it because it's just meant to be fun. So here we go. Okay, giving or getting presents?
Giving.
Okay, if you had a child, what would you want them to be most popular for in high school?
Being smart.
Oh, yes. Make a high-pitched sound.
That's the best I got.
That was gross. From 1 to 10, how hot do you like your shower water?
Not as hot as you.
Yeah, like more like a
really
smooth
weird.
11 or 12.
Now that I say that out loud, it sounds very weird, but I've never showered
why?
with Aisha.
I was going to say, why? Because we showered together?
That's what it sounds like. Probably like you know what, for my skin, a 7, but I probably normally have it closer to an 8 or 9. My code ain't working in my house right now, so I only have it on 10.
Oh, wow. If Kim Kardashian and Donald Trump were both drowning and you could only save one, who would it be?
Wow, Kim Kardashian.
Amen. Do you like the smell of gasoline?
No.
Can you touch your toes without bending your knees?
Nope.
Sidney, you have really got to work on your flexibility.
I know. I'm working on it. Every time I go to the gym, I make sure I stretch these days. I know. I'm really, really bad with flexibility.
Do you like the name Charlie for a girl?
Yes.
Do you know the definition of triskaidekaphobia?
Afraid of something.
Yeah, fear of something.
I'm not sure what.
Have you ever tasted soap?
Yes, I think I have.
If you were given an all-expense-paid trip to Cleveland, would you take it?
Hell yeah, I'm going anywhere. I had a good time in Alabama, okay? I can go to Cleveland and have a good time.
Do you currently own any stuffed animals?
Unfortunately, yes.
What's the maximum number of spritzes of perfume before it's too much?
2, 3.
Oh, wow. Okay. Tapas or pasta?
What's tapas? Pasta, I guess.
Okay. Ask permission or beg forgiveness?
Ask permission.
If the toilet paper is really low but not completely out, do you replace it or leave it for someone else?
That's terrible. I'm gonna replace it. Jesus Christ. What kind of animals wrote these questions?
How many redheads are you friends with?
None.
Oh.
Actually, wait. No.
If you have to your friend's name, you're not friends.
Then none.
Okay. What type of triangle has two equal sides?
Oh shit. Not equilateral. Obtuse.
That's right.
Equilateral. I wasn't gonna say that, but I'm gonna go with it now.
No, it is not. Anyways, what is your favorite carnival food?
Funnel cakes.
Okay. Name a word that starts with the letter Q.
Quince. It's a movie from Disney.
I know. That's the one with like 15 kids or some shit.
It's 5. That's 6 kids.
My bad.
5 twins.
Oh. Well, that's a lot. Okay, anyway.
Not 15.
Climb a mountain or jump from a plane.
Climb a mountain.
If you are really hungry, would you eat a bug?
Hell no. Ugh, a water bug? No.
Ugh, why did you have to say that one?
It's the first thing I thought about. That would be the only bug big enough to fill me up.
Oh, God. Did you go to sleepaway summer camp as a kid?
No, never even heard of that.
Oh, okay. How long can you hold your breath for?
Just 0 seconds. Probably like 3.
Wow. Have you ever seen a kangaroo in person?
No.
Not
that I can remember.
When people stand for a standing ovation, are you usually one of the earlier or later people to stand up?
It depends. Like, I'd be like, why? Sometimes we just be ready to stand up for some stuff. I'd be like, this was not a standing ovation moment. So it depends.
Okay. All right. Well, that was the end of my 2 rounds of fire questions.
Alrighty. Are you ready? I hope not.
Absolutely. Oh, God. Okay.
Is it grammatically proper to capitalize the names of the seasons?
No.
Would you rather come face to face with a miniature hippopotamus or a giant cockroach?
Oh, a hippopotamus. 1,000%.
And it says both are in a bad mood. Define the word zeitgeist.
What? I don't know.
When was the last time you stayed up past 4 a.m?
I don't know. Maybe a week ago.
What's the lamest desert that people try to pass off as a desert? Oh, dessert. What's the
I was like, who knows deserts?
Right. I was like, wait, this can't be right.
Lamest dessert. Shit. Fruitcake?
Yes. We here. When you fly on a plane, do you wear a neck pillow?
Yes.
Do you like Disneyland?
Never been.
How would you rate your karaoke skills on a scale of 1 to Mariah Carey?
Ooh. Are we talking about present day Mariah Carey? Because probably there.
I knew you were going to say that.
I am 2020 Mariah Carey.
Okay. What's the name of the street you grew up on?
Oh, God. Tammy Drive.
Are your grandparents mildly rude?
They have their moments.
What's your favorite clothing brand?
I don't know that I have one. I like to thrift.
Okay. Black beans or refried beans in your burrito?
Ooh, both. But I guess if I had to choose, refried.
Okay. Using an Elmo voice, tell me how you like your coffee.
My name's Elmo, and I like my coffee black.
Are tomatoes a fruit or a vegetable?
A fruit.
What's your favorite Harry Potter character?
Oh, God. I think all the Harry Potters are the same. So, I don't know.
All the Harry Potters? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Have you ever stolen anything?
Yes.
I just smile so hard.
I've stolen a lot.
Do you think anyone considers you a hipster?
My white family does.
Okay. What's the sound? What's the sound you would make if you were freezing cold?
Shit.
Okay. When eating a formal meal with multiple forks, do you start with the outside or the inside?
The outside.
Okay.
For the record, I've never had a formal meal, I guess.
What's your favorite martial art?
MMA, I guess.
Okay. LA or New York? I think I know.
LA, baby.
Sour Patch Kids or Swedish Fish?
Oh God, Sour Patch Kids. I think I called them quits.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how good are you at trivia?
Wonderful. 10.
Super Mario Brothers or Zelda?
I don't know what Zelda is, so Super Mario Brothers.
Okay. If Tupac appeared before you right now, what's the first thing you would ask him?
Oh God. What his favorite books are.
Okay. And what temperature do you like your thermostat at?
67.
Okay. All right. Well, that concludes my lightning round of questions.
Oh, that was fun.
This has been fun.
That was a good time. They're very random questions.
Wish we could do this every podcast, but then it would get old.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, well, let's get into it. So, month in review. Sidney, you want to take us off?
Sure. I have something. Actually, let me see. I'm going to pull it up as I actually talk about it because I'm quite entertained. I'm weak all at once.
Oh, God.
So, the NAACP Image Awards has taken place.
Oh, I was also going to talk about that.
Oh, wonderful. I wanted to shout out some of my favorite people who got awards. Well, number one, I also just want to talk about the fact of how important this award show is. We have talked a number of times on here about the Oscars, the BAFTAs, and all these other different award shows that are not, Black oriented, that don't give us our due diligence and our just rewards. So, I'm always excited to see Black people out and about at the NAACP Awards. It was hosted by Anthony Anderson, who I think he normally hosts it. And I didn't see the whole award show, but he did a very good job with the opening, I personally felt like. But Lupita got Outstanding Actress for Us. I thought that was super dope. Jamie Foxx
she did that.
Yes, she did. Jamie Foxx got Outstanding Supporting Actor for Just Mercy. Amari Hardwick got Outstanding Actor in a Drama Series for Power, which I love him in Power, so I thought that was super dope. Queen Mother, Angela Bassett, got Best Actress or Outstanding Actress in a Drama Series for 911. If you had not seen 911, it is a really good show.
I have not seen it.
It is good. It is good. I really only watched it because Angela Bassett was in it, and I was thinking it was gonna be one of those like cop shows / they make so many of these like every year. So I was like, well, it probably won't be on long. So let me enjoy this while I have a chance. But it keeps getting renewed because it actually really is good. When They See Us won Outstanding Limited Series, which I was very, very happy about. Niecy Nash got an award for When They See Us, and I'm not sure if it was like for a supporting actress or like best actress in a limited series, but my only problem with that one was they did not nominate all the women in When They See Us, and I felt like all of the women, because there were multiple from When They See Us that were nominated, like there were at least 2 if not 3, and I felt like there was a woman, I need to look up her name, but there was a woman who played one of the mothers of the children who I thought was really, really good. She was also in Loose. And she's been in, and she was on Orange is the New Black, which I forgot about until I went back and watched it. But she is just phenomenal to me. She is a newer actress, but I really wish she had at least been nominated. I thought she was really, really good. You'd be happy to know that Red Table Talk won for Outstanding Talk Series.
Woohoo!
Which I just watched the Red Table Talk with Snoop Dogg on.
Oh my God. Shut up. I was just watching this morning too.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't finish it though.
Okay. So I won't ruin it for you. But I was watching it and I was like, wow, you know what? This is a really, really good show. And I had already seen who won because I looked this up last night. And I was like, yeah, they really definitely deserve it. Like, it was just such peaceful, beautiful energy, I felt like, in the room. And I've always left her show feeling very like inspired to go about my day with a certain kind of like grace.
It's so good, and I think there's a very important point that she mentions on a lot of her shows is that this is not necessarily a place for arguing, for attacking, for even sharing how mad you are or whatever. It's a place for healing, and I think truly that is what her show is. It's so dope because she has so many different guests from different backgrounds, ethnicities, religions, sexual orientations, everything. She has so many different guests on there, and it truly is a show for healing. So I fucking love that show. If you haven't seen Red Table Talk with Jada Pinkett Smith, her mother, and Willow Smith, then you definitely need to check it out.
Absolutely. Really, really good show. So I was very happy about that. One thing that made me smile really hard and laugh at the same time was that Beyonce, in one way or another, got 6 different NAACP awards. Absolutely. And I was like, yes, ma'am. She got one for Outstanding Variety Show for Homecoming. She got one for the Homecoming album, Best Female Artist. She got one for the song Spirit. She got one for collaboration album. So she got one for the album that she put out, The Gift. She got one for that.
Oh man, The Gift is so damn good. I still love that album.
I gotta re-listen to it. It's been a while, but yeah, I was like, yes ma'am, because I know Beyonce's Homecoming was nominated for a multitude of Emmys, if I'm not mistaken, and she didn't get one. And I was like, you hoes have tried me for the last time. So
absolutely.
But one thing I wanted to talk about specifically was how many awards Just Mercy got and who else was in the category with them, because I was like,
oh my god,
I'm starting to feel like y'all just want to give Michael B. Jordan awards, and I just don't know if he's quote unquote deserving. Again, as we talked about on this show, I'm very proud of him and very thankful for him and the legacy that he's creating and the stories that he wants to tell. But for instance, Just Mercy got Outstanding Motion Picture over Queen Slim, Us, Harriet, and Dolomite Is My Name. And I did not see Dolomite Is My Name. I didn't see Queen and Slim, but I was just like, I seriously doubt it was better than I can't say it was better than Us as an ensemble cast, as a whole like picture.
I don't think it was better than Queen and Slim or Us. I watched Dolomite, but not with all my full attention, and I really wasn't moved by it. But I guess it just wasn't my cup of tea. Not that it was bad; it just wasn't my cup of tea. But
right,
yeah, no. You and I both know the feelings when it comes to Just Mercy. And how incredibly slighted we feel by the movie itself, because the book is so good. So yeah, it sounds like they just wanted to give the award, to their faves.
Yeah, same thing. Outstanding actor in a motion picture. They gave it to Michael B. Jordan over Eddie Murphy for Dolomite, over Winston Duke for Us. I didn't see 21 Bridges, but Chadwick Boseman was nominated, and Daniel Kaluuya was nominated for Queen and Slim. And again, as we have talked about on this very podcast, I do not think that Michael B. Jordan could outact any of them. I don't think that his role as an actor in Just Mercy deserved an award. I just felt like it was very mediocre. So I was just like, wow. Jamie Foxx, I stan Jamie Foxx. I stan him getting an award for it. Ensemble cast, Just Mercy over Us, Queen and Slim, Harriet, and Dolomite Is My Name. And again, I'm just like, I can't really say that I agree with this. I'm happy that we have Just Mercy as a film, but I just, again, think y'all just want to give Michael B. Jordan awards at this point, because no ma'am, no sir, I need to be in these rooms. But I also see, I need to look up if it's something that was voted upon, because I do understand how much people don't, some people see film as entertainment and not as art, and I understand how much that might sway who gets these awards. Because even 911, I love Angela Bassett, but Viola Davis was nominated for How to Get Away with Murder, and I'm like, is Angela Bassett's 911 better than Viola Davis's How to Get Away with Murder? I don't think anything is better than Viola Davis's How to Get Away with Murder.
Okay, because the woman gives us snot every episode.
Okay, and so is Rutina Wesley, which you might not know her by name, but she's the dark brown sister with the locks that's in Queen Sugar. And so was Regina King for Watchmen, and I haven't seen Regina King in Watchmen, but I'm just kind of like, I love Angela Bassett, I do, and I love 911, but is she better than Viola Davis? No, ma'am. I can't say that she is in this particular role. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, there were other people and other categories and whatnot. There were actually a whole lot of categories that I didn't touch on or get into, but they even had awards for like literary works, which of course they don't present that on they don't normally present those awards on screen, because even Anthony Anderson made a joke about how they pushed his category to something that wasn't televised, and how he was like, but I'm going to talk about it. I won. So I really wish they would take the time to honor literary work on screen if they didn't, because again, I will say that I don't have cable anymore, so I didn't see it myself. But if they don't, and if anybody is listening that has power in that realm, I definitely think that y'all should televise literary work on screen, because I think it's important for people to know how important it is to read and to write and that kind of thing. So, yeah. But overall, I am very happy that we have the NAACP awards. I might not agree with who they give the awards to in all the cases, but as is life. And I'm very thankful that, we have this award show, and I'm very thankful that it takes place during Black History Month. So shout out to everybody involved and everybody behind the scenes that has to work hard to make it possible. And shout out to everyone who got awards. Even if, I don't necessarily agree that I think that you should have got them, I'm still happy for you. And like as Gabrielle Union said, I'm wishing y'all all love and light, even if we disagree.
Amen. Well,
So, yeah.
my NAACP award shout out kind of goes to Rihanna, who got the President's Award. And her speech was, quote, "If there's anything I've learned, it's that we can fix this world together. We can't do it divided. I can't emphasize this enough. How many of us in this room have colleagues and partners and friends from other races, sexes, and religions? Well, then they want to break bread with you, right? They like you. Well, then this is their problem too. So when we're marching and protesting and posting about the Michael Brown Jr.'s and the Tatiana Jeffersons of the world, tell your friends to pull up." End quote. Amen, Rihanna. And thank you for taking the time to make that bold statement. And just know that Black issues aren't just Black issues. Because for one, we didn't start them. And for two, if you love us, you value us, you like our culture, you like our hair, you like our earrings, you like our skin tone, you like the way we do our makeup, you guys are constantly mimicking, or I don't even want to say culturally appropriating, because I think it's just like the infatuation that we might also have within each other races have of us as the prototype, in my personal opinion. So it is their job to say, yeah, I also will stand with you. I will march with you. I will also want you to have your rights, just like you want to have your rights and to feel safe. You should also not feel afraid when you get pulled over by a cop, because I don't feel afraid, and you should have that same right I have. So yeah, I thought that was really dope that she took the time to call out people who say that they're allies. You can't really be an ally if you're not actively being one.
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. I definitely appreciate Rihanna in that regard also, and I'm glad you brought that up. You want to switch off?
Sure, go ahead.
Oh, I NAACP awards, that was...
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. I wanted to talk about New Jersey's annual terrorism threat assessment moved white supremacist extremists to the highest level of any terrorist group, higher than ISIS and Al-Qaeda.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so the reason that they did that is because they took into account mass shootings and domestic terrorism by white supremacist groups, and specifically cited the El Paso Walmart shooting as one of those incidences, where the shooter in that incident wrote a racist anti-immigrant 4-page document before going on a shooting rampage. Also highlighted the incidences that neo-Nazi members took to vandalize synagogues and accused of expressing interest in attacking Black people with machetes at a New Jersey mall. Several incidences just using 2019 alone helped them come to the decision of moving them up in the rankings and moving them to the highest level of terrorist extreme groups. So I think for one, it's before that they were rated a moderate threat, and I think ISIS is like low. Yeah, ISIS is level like low, and they finally moved it up to high. But it's like, obviously the biggest threat to our country and our society would be the domestic ones, the people who are already here, who already have their hatred that's been built up for generations and generations. Obviously they should be the highest threat to American society, and I think that should have been addressed a long time ago. So yeah,
but I am happy to hear that, though. That is still definitely a move in the correct direction. I personally feel like
it absolutely is. But I also thought it was strange that it was New Jersey that moved them up on that list. For one, I'm not really sure what exactly the list does. Does it mean that if you get in trouble, you'll receive higher punishment or something? I'm not really sure, but I just thought it was interesting that it was in New Jersey of all places, because they even cited, like I said, the El Paso shooting. So it's like, well, shouldn't that be moved up in Texas then, or somewhere in the South or something like that? But
it also makes sense that it isn't in the South, because we already know how we protect white supremacy in the South. So that makes sense that it is not at the same time. But I definitely think that it shows accountability, even if it is, not necessarily, the entire country that's doing it, or the area of the country where we really feel like it would be important. Not to say it's any more or less important in any area, because I think that there's a lot going on in all areas as far as it comes to like, you know, white supremacy. I think we focus on the South. And I read something recently that was talking about how when we think about slavery, we think about the South, but we don't think about like those who were enslaved that were farther up north and that kind of thing, and how slavery was up there. So sometimes we also kind of focus our attention on like certain areas because we've been programmed to. So it might be important, it just as, or maybe more important in New Jersey, and it might just be things that we haven't considered so far. So basically just trying to be more analytical and critical about, you know, where things take place, instead of just kind of reacting out of like, oh, well, it sounds like it should be here, but it's like, well, let me do some research first before I say that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So yeah, but that's cool. I'm down with that. Down with that, no lie. Is that all you had to say about that?
Yes.
So you want to switch off again?
Absolutely.
Let's see. I have, sorry if anyone can see my paper crinkling. Oh, quickly, it is still Black History Month. Hopefully it'll still be Black History Month by the time this is posted somewhere. I know how that normally goes. But
we don't say dates anymore in this house.
Right. But yes, shout out to Black History Month once again. I've been watching a lot of documentaries over the month. Kalia actually asked me last night what I had been doing to make sure that basically that I'm supporting myself emotionally because of the traumatic things I've been watching. And I was like, oh, I'm fine. And then I started talking about it, and I was like, oh, you know what? This has been very traumatic. Yeah. Now that I say it out loud and I think about what I have been ingesting, I was like, But say that to say, it has definitely been very informative. Like literally when I was talking to her last night, she just kept going, what? And I was like, I know, right? I didn't know that either. So I'm very happy that I embarked on the mission of watching 29 documentaries. I'm behind, but I think I'm going to continue and do it. Like I'm going to finish with 29, but I think I'll just switch over to watching documentaries about women, Black women, particularly since next month is Women's History Month, or Women's Month, if I'm not mistaken. Which would be definitely beneficial, because again, a lot of my Black history knowledge has been shaped by Black men. So you know how that goes. But yeah, just shout out to, you know, all the folks. You know, the 21st was the date of what's the word I'm looking for? The date of Malcolm X's assassination. So, you know, we remember that, and that is memorialized and, you know, quote unquote celebrated in ways. And I think, you know, people watched the documentary, and I know they had a celebration at the what's the word I'm looking for? I cannot get any of my words together today. At the memorial. So, you know, shout out to Malcolm X and his sacrifices, and all the other Black people, you know, just to name a few. You know, I'm a big fan of Mamie Bradley and her sacrifices and what she did for Black people. Again, shout out to the NAACP and their award show and everything they've done historically for Black folks. So I hope everybody out there took some time to learn about the ancestors, and, you know, you still got a couple days left.
Amen.
You know, you still, you know, you got the whole year if you want to take it, but if you want to celebrate it during the month.
Amen. 365.
Yeah, so I just wanted to I wrote that down just to like bring it up, because, you know, it is my favorite holiday. I have been celebrating it thus so. And so yeah, and then another quick thing I wanted to bring up, and then I'll have one more, but we can switch off before that one, is Mike Bloomberg getting drugged through the streets by the good sis Elizabeth Warren. When I tell you,
if I hear one more fucking commercial, I swear to God, his voice just yells the N-word at me. And every time I hear his commercials, like, well, Black people, you know, I'm here to look out for you and hold you into my mamie titty. I just be like, can you just shut the fuck up and get your goddamn commercial out of my ear holes? Because I'm not trying to hear it.
Yeah, if y'all did not see the debate, it wasn't the most recent one, because they definitely had at least one since, but I can't remember where it was. All I know is it was his first one, because, you know, I guess he just decided to run, or just decided to start campaigning. I don't know how that works. I don't know all the intricate
like
details.
Yesterday.
Yeah, but basically they all just had a a party getting in his ass. Elizabeth Warren said, if y'all want another, I can't remember her words exactly, but it went something along the lines of, if y'all want another rich man that basically has gotten away with sexually assaulting women in the White House, and no, I'm not talking about Donald Trump. I was like, oh, woo. When I heard that, I was like, damn. And they were like, they kept asking him, because apparently the women who were within his company who have accused him of different, I guess, sexually violent acts, or have accused him of sexual harassment, his company, I should say, they settled out of court, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and they've signed NDAs and whatnot. And so Elizabeth Warren kept saying, well, you could release them from them NDAs tonight and we can hear this side of the story now. And he was on hush mouth, and I was like, well, this tells me all I need to know. And then he was talking about how, stop and frisk. He apologizes, it got out of hand. And I was like, oh, it got out of hand. You got to pay attention to the words these people use. As in, he's basically saying, oh, it did what it was supposed to do. It just, I'm not sorry for doing it. I'm just sorry that it got out of hand. Yeah. But then he was like, yeah, but when we found out that it got out of hand, we started investigating. And Joe Biden was like, I'm sorry. Actually, y'all didn't start investigating or didn't become apologetic about it or didn't start to change things until Barack Obama's administration sent people in to investigate. And I was like, when I tell you these good people on this stage are not letting you get away with anything tonight, they are holding this man accountable. So say all that to say, the primary for North Carolina is March 3rd. So people, as I said on Instagram, and I will say it again for the folks who do not watch my Instagram story, if you are one of those black folks who don't like to vote, that is fine. If you do, want to make excuses and say that your vote don't count, that is fine. You can still go to the polls on March 3rd and vote for Bernie Sanders, which would be a vote for all of us.
If you're going to waste a vote, waste it here.
I mean, because what I think about is the people who believe and want things differently than myself, whether you want to call them conservatives, whether you want to call them racist white people, whether you want to call them white folks, rich folks, whatever it is you want to call it, they don't ever think they vote don't count. And even if they do, they still go vote. So it's always, I'm not going to say it's always us, but it is us who are, who are going to lose out because clearly they went to vote for Donald Trump, whether they thought their votes mattered or not. And, so say that to say, if you think your vote don't matter, that's fine. Not trying to change your mind. All I'm trying to get your ass to do is go vote for Bernie Sanders. And I met a lady who was like, I'm just trying to figure out where he gonna get all this money from. And I was like, and I understand. And that wasn't her saying she wasn't gonna vote for him or anything like that, but she was just saying like, I just don't know where this money's gonna come from. And I was like, I honestly, at this particular moment, of course I want the things that he's promised to come to fruition, of course. But again, even if he can't get that to happen, same thing that happened, with Barack Obama and all his goals, and they flooded the House and the Senate with Republicans so that he basically had no power. If it's the same thing with Bernie Sanders, I would still rather have somebody in the White House who cares about people, poor people, black people, who has fought against discrimination in their past, who has marched with Martin Luther King in their past, than have somebody in the White House to the contrary. So even if he can't do anything he said he wants to do, I would still rather have somebody in there with that kind of ideology than not. So say that to say, if you're one of them black folks, one more time, who don't want to vote, who don't think your vote count, you're not planning to vote, not gonna do no research between now and March 3rd, that's fine. You can just go vote for Bernie Sanders, and then you can go home, and you can rest assured that you helped in some way, shape, or form. So yeah, that's my little tidbit about that. And then I got one more month in review, but we can switch off.
Oh. All right, so I actually just wanted to highlight this interview that was given to CR Fashion Book via People by Kim Kardashian, who said that the reality of why she's now involved with social justice and switching gears to have a career dealing with prison reform and criminal justice is that, quote, I'm raising 4 black kids in this society, and our system is so discriminatory against black and brown people. I want to do this as much as I can to make their lives easier. She said she never knew so much about the system until she started to dig in, and once she learned and saw how many things were wrong, she couldn't stop herself. And I wanted to point this out to say that so many more people need to be involved. There's a lot of people like, oh yeah, fuck him, whatever. I'm like, yeah, but honestly, she's doing a lot more for our community than a lot of our own people are doing. So I think that's really dope. And she's using her power, in my opinion, in a good way, even if it's not with that husband of hers. But I share that to say that so many people are, obsessed with having interracial children or having a black husband or boyfriend or girlfriend or what have you, just obsessing over black culture and not understanding that it's much bigger than appearances. Obsessing over wanting, you as a white person wanting a child with curly hair and light brown skin, you have to understand that you need to learn something about their culture and learn what that means they're going to be going through. Because if you're a white person and you have white kids, you already know what they're going to be going through. But if you are, say, a straight person and you have homosexual children or whatever, you need to learn about who they are and how to protect them and how to educate them. Because you don't know that their life, you don't know the struggle that they're about to ensue, literally being brought up in a world that they didn't ask to be in. So I don't only say that about race. I say that about a little bit of everything. If you have a child in the LGBTQ LGBTQ plus community, you also need to be educating yourselves about them and what they're going through and what they're thinking, and having those conversations and educating yourself. Go out of your way to educate yourself. Go out of your way, if you're Kim Kardashian, to make sure that you have black friends so that you can ask your other black friends who are mothers, you know, how to deal with your child's hair, or how to talk to your kid whenever they say, you know, somebody at their school is picking on them or whatever. Like, you need to make sure that you are creating an environment for yourself and for your children to learn and to grow and to be fruitful. So I just wanted to point that out. I thought that was dope.
Absolutely. And I will say this, based off of my good uncle, Huey P. Newton, who we can remember today because it is still Black History Month, and we can remember every day because, you know, Black History all year, 365. Amen. He was talking about assessing modes of thought rather than assessing whole people, and understanding that even though you might dislike a person, that everybody has something to offer and something to be learned from. We have to open our ears to listen, essentially. And so say that to say, I'm not a fan of Kim Kardashian, not a fan of the family. I think most people know that about me if they know me personally, but I can still respect anything that she does that helps poor people, people of color, black people, black men, black women, whomever. There are definitely still some issues that would, you know, I think take some self-introspection, some true self-introspection for her to understand and come to terms with, but I can still have a lot of respect and admiration for this particular thing that she's doing, because it is helping people, black people particularly, and I'm sure it is going to be beneficial for the example in this particular regard that she's setting for her children. So I think it's very dope.
Yeah, for sure.
Alrighty then, time to get into it.
Wait,
stretching.
Wait, do you have one more or no?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry.
So
finish your stretching, queen.
Yeah, I'm stretching. I'm getting prepared. Everybody, every students file in and have a seat.
Oh no,
in my classroom.
I'm nervous.
We're gonna talk about the Wades.
Oh God. Oh no, I'm leaving.
We're going to talk about Zaya Wade. So first,
well, you know what? That is a perfect segue, actually.
Wonderful. I would like to say shout out to the Wades for being supportive to their children and loving them unconditionally. It wasn't until Crystal said it that I understood the importance of people feeling comfortable in their homes. And also her talking specifically about how people have been shown these not shown full love in their own experiences. So seeing this from this black man and this black woman who are raising their own children is so foreign to us, that we question it. Like, even I was reading about, like, I was watching him on Ellen, and I was like, there's no way he's comfortable with this, like thinking about Dwayne Wade, and I'm like, that makes me sad that I would think that he just can't go, I love my child and we're gonna figure this out, and then, you know, here we go. Because again, it's also my conditioning. So I would like to say shout out to them for loving their child unconditionally and doing the work. And because he was talking about how Gabrielle Union, if y'all haven't heard already, reached out to the cast of Pose, who is the most transgender diverse, I guess for lack of a better term, cast in the history of television, about you know, how they're going, how they should, you know, proceed forward. So there was lots of outcry, particularly from that of a man named by the name of Boosie, and another one by the name of Young Thug, on the various social media platforms. And they were talking about, you know, they were saying the same thing, you know, Young Thug said particularly or specifically, you know, God don't make no mistakes, but live in your truth, which to me sounds like the most contradictory thing I've ever heard in my life. It
sounded like a very backhanded quote unquote compliment. I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about.
Yeah, I was like, huh? So that just confused me when I heard like what he fully said. I was like, I'm very confused. Your statement, you're pulling in two different directions with your whole statement. And then Boosie's like, right. But Boosie's like, yeah, don't let him cut his dick off. Don't cut your dick off. You might meet a woman, and change your mind. So I was like, you know what? So this is me presenting my case to the people. When it comes to other groups of people, I base my thoughts off of research and statistics. And so that could either be research, meaning I'm having conversations with this maybe racially different group than myself, this sexually different group than myself, or whatever it might be. So the first thing I thought about was the difference between boys who identify as gay and women who identify as lesbians, and how statistically speaking, boys know at younger ages than women do that they identify as gay. Whereas women who come out as lesbians, statistically speaking, I'm not trying to say that this is everyone, but I learned this in my psychology class, that women who identify as lesbians find out at older ages, and they find out based off of deep affection towards one particular woman. So the first thing that I thought was very strange about Boosie's statement was when he was like, he don't even know what he want for breakfast tomorrow. How he gonna know if he want to be, transgender or whatever? I can't remember his exact words. And I was like, well, I don't know what I want for breakfast tomorrow either, but I still know that I identify as a woman. So I don't know. This is a stupid point, like analogy. To me personally, I thought that was kind of dumb. Mm-hmm. But say that to say, I'm not trans. I'm not in the LGBTQ community. So I was like, I don't know what the likelihood of Zaya changing her mind about this is going to be. But you know what I decided to do when I figured that out? I was like, oh, well, I could simply look it up. So I did some research. Let's see, because I thought that these statements were rooted in fear. It was, oh my God, I'm afraid you're going to change your mind. And according to Will Smith, the greatest human atrocities have been rooted in fear. So I looked it up, and detransitioning is rare, and it is not as bad as many people think. And this is a statement by Jack Turbin, who is a physician in child psychiatry and adolescent psychiatry. Mm-hmm. He said detransitioning is sometimes a healthy part of psychological development. There are very low odds of a child detransitioning if they are in early stages of puberty. And if I'm not mistaken, Zaya is 14. And I meant to look up when puberty takes place in those who are born male. Because I'm pretty sure, is it that, I think it's those who are born female who start puberty first, right?
I think so, yeah.
Normally?
Mm-hmm, I think so.
Normally? So I don't know, but I meant to look it up to see like what the age range was, so that's my fault for not looking it up, so I could have furthered my statements. But prepubescent children, on the other hand, cause more debate about if they're going to change their mind about transitioning, or are going to come to a point where they want to detransition. But those who are not pubescent, so those who are prepubescent, aren't offered hormone therapy to begin with. So prepubescent children are recommended social transitioning instead. So that would be taking on a new name, that would be taking on the pronouns that they identify with, that would be given whatever that stereotypical dress gender clothing is. So for instance, if you're born male but you identify female, allowing that child to dress as a female, and no restrictions on gender expression. These children who are supported with social transitioning, as far as if the child is prepubescent, are have better mental health, and it is that comparable to that of those who are male, who identify gender wise as male, if that makes sense. So like say when your gender and your sexuality match. But those who aren't allowed to express themselves are the ones that are more likely to be depressed and have anxiety and things like that. So the hormones are puberty blockers, and they would allow more time for the child to search through their identity before puberty would start. And I thought that was quite interesting because then I was like, oh, I start to wonder about the effects on the body and whatnot. Puberty blockers are actually, like, based off of the side effects that were listed in the article that I read, they sound safer than birth control. So I was like, well, and then these drugs have been around for a very long time. They've been used on children who start puberty very early. And literally once you stop taking them, you would just start puberty. That's it. The only side effect is bone density. So they monitor bone density in these children to make sure, while they're on the drug, to make sure that their bones do not become too less dense, not less dense. I don't know the words I'm trying to say, but say all that to say, I was like, I feel like most people are like, oh my God, don't cut your dick off. This is not offered for children. Again, if we had stopped and did a little research before we ran to the social media to talk about our opinions on the things, we would have known that. But I just was like, it's crazy because that was my first thought. Well, what are the chances that someone who transitions would change their mind? And then I just looked it up and I was like, wow, I feel so educated now. And all I did was take like 20 minutes to go look up an article from a reputable source, someone who studies this for a living. Mm-hmm. So shout out to Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union and their entire family for supporting their daughter. I don't see personally anything wrong with it. I heard somebody refer to it as an identity crisis, and again, I personally don't feel that way. And I've also heard people say, these children, they're experiencing so much, and they have so much, basically at their fingertips, with phones and the advent of technologies and things like that. So, they're just exposed to more things, and that's why they're doing these things. And I'm like, that could be true. But again, I was exposed. We all have been exposed to things, and I don't think it made us do anything that we weren't going to already do, if that makes sense. Like when people are like, I don't want gay cartoons in my kids shows. And I have heard people say, like, gay men say, well, I watched a lot of straight shit and it didn't make me straight. So I'm like, yeah, good point. Just like I heard a man who identifies as gay said, I see Billy Porter in dresses all the time. Don't make me want to wear no dress. And I was like, okay, and here we go. So yeah, that is that on that. Thank you guys for participating in my class. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope you learned something. Yeah. Take something away. And that is that on that for me, Queen. Do you have any thoughts, opinions?
Yeah. Well, for one, I wanted to say. Well, I saw after Boosie went on his stupid rant and. Talking about somebody's child that is not his own. However, you know what? Don't go down that rabbit hole. Yeah, after he went on his rant and then got told that he can't work out at Planet Fitness, that shit made me chuckle. And then he lately said that, like, his mom had told him to stay out of people's business and not to talk about people's children. And I was like, why does your old ass mama even have to tell you that? Because you, sir, are a grown-ass man and you don't know to keep your mouth off of other people's kids. Like, how many times, like, because not recently, but I remember some years ago when people were talking shit about all Boosie's kids and, like, saying that they were dumb and making fun of them for all having the same haircut as him. And he was talking about something, well, all of my kids are going to have the Boosie fade, and that's that on that. And it's just like, well, would you want everybody to come in and insert their opinions about your child? No, you didn't like it, and that's why you, made a statement about it. It bothered you that people were talking about your children who don't even make decisions for themselves. They are just listening to what they're told, and that's the end of that. Like, why we feel the need to talk about other people and what they should or shouldn't do with their children is beyond me. Specifically if we're not putting them in harm's way or, damaging them or whatever. But if your child comes to you and tells you something, they shouldn't. I don't believe in fear of your parents. And a lot of people still have that, even as adults. They'd be like, oh, no, my mama would kick my ass if I did X, Y, and Z. And it's like, but that means to me that you're saying, I'm not doing this because I respect my mom. I'm not doing this because I'm scared of my mom, or my mom will hit me, or she'll be mad at me, or she'll yell at me, or she'll curse at me, and blah, blah. And I don't believe in that. There was nothing in the world that I was afraid of telling my dad. I would tell him anything in the world and never felt like, oh, he's going to backhand me, he's going to punch me into the floor, or he's going to yell at me or cuss at me. I never had a fear of my father, and I had the greatest relationship with him in the world. And there is nothing better than having your best friendship in the world being with the person that you've known for your entire life already. Like, you can meet a friend tomorrow and not be friends with them and this, that, and the third, but it's like your parent is who has been there since before the beginning of time for you. I don't believe in fearing your parents. I don't think that that's right. I think that, if God ever wanted me to be a parent, I wouldn't want my children to fear me, to be like, oh, I can't say or do this because my mom's going to be mad. No, I want you to not say or do something maybe because you respect me, but not out of fear, because I want you, to grow up and, it's not even that, I need a child who makes straight A's and is a perfectly straight and has a husband or a wife and 2 children and a white picket fence and 1 dog. Like, no, I don't believe in setting those kinds of ramifications or outlines for your children. I believe that if you are blessed by God to be able to have children, because so many people are not, then you need to take that job very, very seriously. And I think that the bare minimum as a parent that you could do is listen to your child, provide them, food, healthy home, whatever, but also providing them support. Everybody in the world, it seems like is going to be attacking this child for whatever her thoughts, her mental standpoint is, her sexuality, her orientation, her gender identity, whatever it is. Everybody clearly, because the internet is going to attack her. They're going to make fun of her. They're going to pick on her. At the very least, she should be able to go home and have a place where she feels safe at the bare minimum. And if y'all are sitting around people, whether that be females or males or whoever, that are sitting around talking about how much they would not love their child if they did X, Y, and Z, or how they would beat their child if they came home and said this or whatever, then you need to make sure you're not reproducing with these people. And that's on period. Don't have kids with people who don't have the capacity to love unconditionally, because if you don't, you should not be a parent. That is your sole job as a parent, is to love your child unconditionally. There are so many kids who, and people who just do the wrong thing, and their parents, they're still their parents' job to love them. You gave birth to this person. You breathe life into this person. You are the one who has helped shape who they become, how they think, how they move throughout life, how they treat other people. Take that job seriously, because at the bare minimum, you don't hear this young woman, Zaya, getting on the internet saying how she wants to go to school and blow kids' heads off, like some of y'all kids be talking, and yet y'all are mad at her. She never said one thing about wanting to hurt another person, wanting to hurt other people's kids, wanting to hurt society in any way. She simply said, this is who I am, and that's that. And people are mad at her. How? And people are mad at D Wade. How? For loving his child? Who fucking cares? Like, so many men are like, there's no way, Magic Johnson is proud of his son EJ wearing a dress. That's so embarrassing and da-da-da. Like, why? How is it embarrassing? Like, if that's like, would he be embarrassed if it was his daughter? No. So why does it really matter? Why are y'all so obsessed with the sexuality of your sons that you want to put down other men's children or other people in general? You're so obsessed with men. Like, you want your sons to dog out women and get as much sex as possible and this, that, and the third. You guys have this such a strange idea of what a man is, that you want to like Boosie literally, like, last year wanted to order like a prostitute for his like 12-year-old son.
Oh, wow. Well, that's
literally was talking about would pay, a woman to have sex with a son. And then when people were giving him backlash, was like, everybody, wants their son to be able to have sex. Or if, when you were 12 or 14 or whatever, you would want to do X, Y, and Z with a grown woman and da-da-da. And I'm like, so you pimping out your child, nobody should have a problem with that. But if another person says, hey, my child believes that they should be a male or female or wear a dress or not, then that's a problem. How? I'm not sexually abusing my child, unlike you. So what? I just wish that all of y'all could keep your very loud, wrong opinions to yourself, because you're doing nothing but harming everyone. And just like I've said, when it comes to sexual assault victims, and when they speak out and people are like, well, why did she wait so long, and why she do this, and da-da-da, and free so-and-so, he didn't do nothing, and those girls wanted it, and he's rich, and that's why they deserved it, because they wanted it, and they, they wouldn't have been around him if he didn't have money, blah, blah. The way you talk about these people are how your children are going to perceive you, and how they're going to understand, oh, I can't talk to dad about my uncle who just came in here and touched me, because I just heard him talk about this woman who said she waited 5 months to tell on a person, or 5 years. And it's been 6 months since my uncle touched me, so I guess I can't tell on him no more because my dad's not going to care. Y'all sound stupid. Stop being so loud and wrong in front of your children, especially, because you are the ones who are going to make sure that you guys don't have good relationships with your children. If at best, they will fear you, and that's it. You won't have respect. And I would much rather have respect than fear.
Yeah, another thing I thought was quite strange was the fact that these grown men were talking about this child in general, because I was like, normally people be like, oh, leave the kids out of it, leave the kids out of it. They can't defend themselves, leave the kids out of it. So I was like, I don't know what about this. To me, I personally feel like it's because this was a person born male who wants to identify as female. I feel like it was because of that and all of these strong restrictions on masculinity and all these other things that made this child fair game, if that makes sense.
Right.
And that makes me very sad, because again, it's very interesting to me the ways in which we coddle Black men, but then at the same time we do so much harm to Black men. It's just very strange to me, because I literally, not to get too much off subject, but I saw something, and I didn't watch it, but I just saw a headline that was like, was Jada Pinkett too hard on Snoop? And I was like, I'm sorry, what? This was before I watched the Red Table Talk, but even before I watched it, I was like, and here we go again. Like, it's very interesting to me how hard we can be on Black girls, and then how hard we can be on Black men, but then not hard on Black men. And so I'm just like, what are we doing exactly? I'm just quite confused. Yeah. But yeah, I just thought it was very strange that these grown men were talking about this child at all in general, because again, we normally leave kids out of it, but I did feel like it was because of how we view and socialize, particularly as it comes to Black boys boys and masculinity, I felt like that was why this child was fair game. But I just was like, this all in general is very strange to me. More so the backlash, not what was actually happening with this child, but yeah.
And then
strange world.
Yeah, and also I wanted to point out that actually before you said you were going to talk about this, I had actually already pulled it up, and I didn't know why because I wasn't planning on talking about it. But I had pulled up the statistics of suicide rates amongst transgendered youth. And about 41.8% of the respondents that they had for the study that they did said that 41.8% of the respondents said they have attempted suicide at some point in their lives. Attempted suicide. Close to half of transgendered youth have attempted suicide. And I'm reiterating and emphasizing attempted because that doesn't even talk to how many people want to and have not attempted.
Right.
How many kids have maybe sat with a gun and not necessarily put it to their head? Or how many kids have, sat with a bottle of pills and not tried to swallow all of them, but literally meditated on it and thought about it and wanted to do it, but, didn't quote unquote attempt it. At least like almost half of them have attempted. That is heartbreaking. Who would rather have a dead child than a transgender child? What is wrong with y'all? Who would rather have a dead child than a boy who wears a skirt? Who would rather have a dead child than, a daughter who wants to grow a mustache? Like, what is wrong with y'all that is so bad to you that you would rather come home and see your child's body hanging in the closet like so many parents have done? How many of y'all would rather come home and see your baby's body floating in the bathtub like so many parents have done? That's why it's so frustrating because it's like you do not have to agree with or understand someone's lifestyle, their choices, their opinions, their thoughts. You don't have to, quote unquote, want your child to be transgender or want your child to be gay or part of the LGBTQ community. You don't have to agree with that. But you also don't have to bash them and make them feel unsafe and make them feel unloved. It is your number one job to love your child, and that's it. Of course, we want them to have 3 square meals a day. Of course, we want them to have clothes and an education. But it is your number one job to love them and protect them. And that's it. Why do you guys rather see your kids hurt themselves, have depression, be forced to even play sports they don't want to play? Why do we want to do all of these things? And somebody had made a comment that said, oh, well, if your son wanted to identify as a gangster, would you be okay with that? No, you're only okay with it because you don't want to be bashed in the media. And it's like, if he didn't come out, because they were like, you opened us up to this. We didn't ask you what your child's identity was. And it's like, yeah, but if you saw this man out with his, daughter at a park wearing a skirt, you'd be like, oh, so you ashamed of your kid and that's why you never talk about it and da-da-da, and they would get backlash that way. At the very least, as a black man with a platform, an athlete at that, to take the time to say, hey, this is who my child is. If you have a child that's going through this, I encourage you to educate yourself, to be there for your child, to talk to your kid, to let that be open lines of communication. And what the fuck is wrong with that? I am so sorry that so many of y'all have not had open lines of communication with your parents or specifically even with your fathers. But why are you so mad at this black man for always being available to his child, for always saying, you know what, no matter what you choose, you can do this, you can do that. I still love you. You're not hurting people. Again, you're not threatening to bring guns to school and blow other kids' heads off. You are simply being yourself and people are mad at that. And I do not know what's wrong with y'all for that. I'm not saying that you guys have to want your son, that you gave birth to a son and then they want to change their gender. I'm not saying that has to be like, oh, that sounds perfectly great. But do we have to move and hate about it either? Do we have to hate them? Do we have to be mad at them? Do we have to treat them like shit because they're not the exact person we want them to be in life? I'm sure y'all mamas and daddies didn't want y'all to grow up to be in whatever profession y'all are in, half of y'all. And does that matter? Do they still love you? Oh, great. I hope that they do. But that doesn't mean that you are living out the dream that your parents wanted for you either.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with a classmate the other day, and he brought that up, and I was like, again, it is just very interesting to me that every time we make these analogies, it's literally comparing the LGBTQ community to something such as gangsters. But would you want your child? And I was like, well, these aren't good analogies though. Like,
right? Did a transgender person rob you or sell you drugs? What is wrong with you? Like, how is this even a comparison? What are you talking about?
Yeah,
we are talking about
again,
a sexuality.
it's crazy to me. Right, it's crazy to me that people don't see that when they're making that analogy. I'm just like, did y'all think about that before you?
Not at all.
Like, I mean, it's one thing if you didn't think about it before you said it, because maybe you were thinking aloud. But did you think about it before you took the time to turn it into a meme?
Oh my God. I just want to take meme privileges away from you dumb, ignorant fucks. I'm so sick of y'all. Ugh.
So yeah, that's that on that. That was intense.
Okay. I have one more month in review if you don't have anything.
No, I'm all set. That is everything for me.
Okay. Last thing that I wanted to talk about was Mississippi struck down the fetal heartbeat bill, which was a 6-week abortion ban. So basically, once the fetus in your womb has a heartbeat, they say that they did not want you to be able to legally have an abortion, which I don't really even know why they even brought this up as a proposal, because they had already been struck down, I want to say the year before, for a 15-week heartbeat. So they wanted to ban 15-week abortions, and then they were like, that got struck down, and they're like, oh, well, we also want to ban 6-week abortions. And it was like, well, if you can't do 15, why would you be able to do 6 week? I don't understand.
It probably was like, we got Trump, we getting more and more conservative out here. Let's try it again. Let's go for
and probably. And I'm actually shocked that it was struck down, because it was in Mississippi, but it was the federal judge that struck it down. So, but I wanted to put in perspective for you, North Carolina, also the Bible Belt, also a pretty anti-abortion in general. Their abortion does not become illegal until 20 weeks. So Mississippi thought, they were like, 6 weeks. A 6-week pregnancy means that you have missed one period.
Right.
Which means, oh my God, I missed my period. Let me, for a lot of women, you're probably going to say, okay, well, my period is late sometimes, whatever. This is not an exact science, hello, the moon, the tides, gravity, everything has an effect on our cycle. So, just wait it out. So if you wait another week and you're like, that's weird, my period still hasn't come, let me go to the doctor. So you go to the doctor, and then they don't give you your pregnancy test for a couple of days, because it's not like a at-home pregnancy test. Say they call you 3 days later and like, oh, girlfriend, you're pregnant. Like, oh shit, okay, well, let me figure out my rights. So let's say that if you found out the same day you got your results that you were going to get an abortion, you didn't even sleep on it, you're like, you know what, I'm gonna go get an abortion. I cannot be a parent right now, I can't afford it. Incest, rape, whatever the fuck happened to you, whatever your reason is no one's business but your own. But if you decide that that's not what you want to do, in North Carolina, at the very least, I don't know how all states are, but I know in North Carolina, the article that I read said that after you go to your abortion clinic and get your ultrasound from the clinic, so not just from your doctor, you have to go to the clinic, that they make you wait 72 hours. And they call you for like a quote unquote counseling session, which basically they just tell you your rights as a person, which says, I guess, if your insurance will cover the abortion, which the article said it'll only cover it if it's a life-threatening pregnancy or if it's incest or rape. Those are the only ways it would be covered. So they tell you your rights, and they tell you how long you have to make your decision, and then you have to wait 72 more hours. So that's 3 more days. So let's say by the time you even find out you're pregnant and set an appointment to get an abortion, you would probably be past the 6-week mark. So it just doesn't make any sense to be like, oh, so unless you have some sort of alarm that goes off in your brain the second you have sex unprotected or condom breaks or failed birth control or whatever, unless you have an alarm that just sounds off from your fucking iPhone, you're probably not going to know you're pregnant until it's too late to get an abortion. So I just don't really understand why Mississippi would even attempt to pass a bill like that. It's just that Bible.
I do. It's men trying to control women's bodies.
1,000%. And that Bible Belt bullshit. If y'all want to beat each other over the head with a Bible, God bless. Do your best. It's a very heavy book. You probably get a lot of damage done. But don't try to bring that shit on people over here that don't agree with it. Okay? You guys can beat each other with that if that's what y'all feel like doing. But as far as any other woman is concerned that has to make a decision for her life, for her body, for her potential baby, or her living situation. Because what's going to happen is, if you force these women to have their pregnancies because they're past 6 weeks pregnant, and then they come out and say, oh, look, my son is here, he's healthy, he has all his fingers and toes, and then your son says, oh, well, I identify as a female, then all of a sudden y'all want to throw the goddamn baby away.
Right.
Y'all don't
And
give a
there's
fuck
that.
about people or human rights. So don't act like y'all give a fuck about these babies having quote unquote rights to be born and whatever other shit y'all be saying about abortions. It's like, yeah, well, if they come out gay or if they come out black or they come out trans, then all of a sudden it's okay to throw the baby in the trash. I literally saw a meme that literally it made me want to throw up how sick it was. And it said, give us, oh, I don't even want to repeat it, but it said, give us back Kobe and Gigi and take D Wade and his quote unquote daughter. I was disgusted and livid. I don't know who made that shit. I hope that not even that I want to wish bad things on people, but I just really hope that you come to a face-to-face, come to Jesus meeting, something with your maker, because that is not okay to say things like that. And also, you have to have so much hate in your heart to even try to think that that would be a joke or something funny to make, or if you were serious about it, what have you, because that's the problem. Y'all love to pretend like y'all give a fuck about people and their babies and, you know, babies having a right to live. But if they come out poor, or if they come out gay or black or whatever, then all of a sudden you have a right to throw them in the trash and pretend like they're not human and they don't exist.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy. It's insane. I was gonna say something, but I forgot what it was. Damn it. Lost my train of thought.
I think I got on a little rant.
That's okay. You know, that's what this is here for. But I'm happy that it didn't pass. I will definitely say that. It is very interesting to me that we have all these male lawmakers making laws about women's bodies. But I mean, I guess it makes sense. You got all these white lawmakers making laws that affect the lives of black folks and all that good stuff.
Keep your white liver spotted hands off of our reproductive rights.
So, yeah, but I'm glad it didn't pass, though. That makes me happy. It sounds like we're progressing in the right direction. Woo! If that thought comes back to me, I will randomly be like, oh, I got it now.
Okay, got it. Okay, well, that's enough of month in review, because, whew, what a whirlwind.
Yep. Indeed. All right, so is it Blank While Black?
Absolutely.
Alrighty, Tween, take it away.
Okay, in Blank While Black, you know, there's always something to be talked about. So last September, there was an incident at an Orlando, Florida elementary school, which the footage has just now been released, as, of course, people like to hold on to those things for dear life. A 6-year-old who suffered from sleep apnea, and I believe it was some sort of behavior disorder. I want to say like ADD, but don't quote me on that. But sleep apnea nonetheless, that the mother had told the school about, or grandmother had told the school about. This 6-year-old child, first grader, had threw a temper tantrum, to which the school responded by asking the school resource officer to come take her. So this 6-year-old was put into twisty ties, instead of handcuffs. So the 6-year-old was throwing a temper tantrum. The police officer came in and put the twisty ties on the baby's hand. She's like, what is this for? He's like, you're going to jail. The baby starts crying. No, I don't want to go to jail. Please give me a second chance. It's a 6-year-old child crying. Please, no, please, help me, screaming for people to help her, please, no, I don't want to go. The cop's like, oh, you don't want to go? She's like, no. He's like, okay, well, come on, you have to go anyway. You don't have a right to say no, whatever. You can tell me what happened in the car. Puts the child in the car, quote unquote, arrests a 6-year-old child. Now, this same officer, Dennis Turner, had also arrested another 6-year-old the same day for a different instance. And so since then, he has been fired. Dennis Turner has been fired, and the Orlando Police Department has made a public apology for arresting the 6-year-old child. So their attorney, the Florida Senator Randolph Bracey, had said that this trauma is something that, a 6-year-old should never have to go through. It was heartbreaking to watch the 6-year-old child pleading for help, asking for a second chance as she was being arrested. And so he has brought up a policy against arresting children under the age of 12, and that if an arrest of a child under the age of 12 was to happen, that they need to get the chief's approval before arresting the child. So they have to make contact with the chief of the police department before they make that arrest. But it's just really sad that we think that we can arrest 6-year-old children. And not even that this was some freak incident. That same officer had arrested another 6-year-old child the same day.
So it's so weird because I want to ask if they're black, but I feel like I already know the answer.
Yeah, the babies were black.
Oh, of course.
And so it just it just reiterates the fear when people say, well, why are black people afraid of cops? Why the fuck wouldn't they be? They are trained from children to fear. Like I said, these people are not respected. This is fear. And that is not the kind of power you want to have. Because guess what? Fear ultimately is an illusion. And you can break free of fear. If you respect somebody, you're just going to respect them. So,
facts.
You know, as 6-year-old, she has learned the lesson and been traumatized that police are not on your side. These grown people do not have your best interest at heart. They want to, you know, enforce a school to prison pipeline starting at the age of 6 years old.
Right. And you know what's crazy? Because I was like re-looking at the Assata Shakur autobiography and like looking at I was looking at some newscasts about it. You know, she was accused of killing a state trooper. And, okay, sorry. So for anyone who doesn't know, Assata Shakur was a member of the Black Panther Party. She was in the, I cannot remember what the other group was called. But anyway, she, in the 70s, was accused of killing a state trooper. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, you know, black people, you know, they always, or people in general, they always, well, actually, I guess I should just stick to black because I'm not sure about if white people, this happens to white people, but they, you know, they always go to jail for killing police officers. Mm-hmm. But I was thinking about the fact that, you know, normally, as we've seen over the years, at least in the time that we've been alive, and of course have seen if you've done any historical research too, cops kill people, but they don't go to prison for it. And when they say, oh, like for instance, you know, Mike Brown, for example, the police officer's like, oh, I feared for my life. That's why. Oh, okay. Well, that's a good enough defense to make sure you don't go to jail. You don't think black people are fearful for their lives when they have to interact with police? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, not to say Assata Shakur did it, but I was like, if she did, I mean, could she not use that same defense? Could I argue that this black woman was not afraid of this white officer who could have been talking to her any kind of way? You know what I'm saying? Because it goes back to your point of saying that black people are fearful when they interact with police, because y'all have done that to us. Like all these documentaries I'm watching, I'm literally watching black people during the civil rights movement getting poked in the stomach with cattle prods, getting jabbed at with the butt of guns. You're seeing police officers hold shotguns to the back of black people's heads, like pushing them into I forgot what they called. I think they're, you know, I'm gonna use the word wagons for lack thereof of what the actual name of it was, but those police vans, they were you know, just pushing people in, pushing them in. And I read a story about a civil rights activist who said that they pulled into the prison and left them inside that van or whatever with the windows rolled up in 100-degree weather. This is the kind of thing that you can literally watch archival footage of. So meaning we've seen this, you know, Black History Month is always Martin Luther King, civil rights. All right, y'all was picking cotton coolers over. But if we were watching these things in school, we have literally seen the cops brutalizing black people potentially for our whole lives. We see it now. We see Tamir Rice. We see Mike Brown. How could we not think that, oh, somebody called the police, they could pull up and just shoot me? They did that to Tamir Rice. Mm-hmm. Didn't even have enough time to go, put your hands up. I mean, that car pulled up and they smooth pulled the trigger. Mm-hmm. So say to say, it's just very interesting to me that people think that black people do not have a right to be fearful of the police, mm-hmm. when we literally, again, like you just said, have been conditioned to that. And then I was just thinking about it in terms of when police do lose their lives. Not to say, again, that's not to say I want anybody to lose their life, but I'm like, how could I not then use that same argument? Oh, I was fearful for my life. How could I not? How could I not be afraid of police? I know someone who literally said they got pulled over. They were probably just getting pulled over for speeding or something like that. But she was the moment she got pulled over, being an African-American female, she literally just started crying because she was afraid. Mm-hmm. So I just think it's very strange that, you know, police get to be fearful of us, but we don't get to be fearful back. And when they're fearful, they get to kill us. But again, I guess we're just supposed to take it because we always have, I guess, quote unquote. So yeah, that was a rant and random kind of, but it was also kind of on topic. But I just had to say that because I just think it's very strange, again, that, you know, people don't think that we have a right to be fearful with all of this footage out here of this brutalization. All of it. It's so much. So, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, the conditioning starts early. Like I said, school to prison pipeline is very real, very much so alive. You've already taught this child. You're not teaching her, oh, if I do this behavior, I'll go to jail. So let me make sure I straighten up. What you've taught her is that to be fearful of the police, that they are not on your side, that they are people who will attack you at no matter what age you are because of the color of your skin. So it's very sad. Right. So in Blank While Black, please don't be a 6-year-old child who suffers from sleep apnea and has a temper tantrum in first grade, because my God, if I could even think of how many, you know, white kids I went to school with that had temper tantrums, you know, kicked teachers,
right, push
things over, knocked things off a desk, you know, screamed at other students, hit other students. and definitely, certainly 1,000% did not get arrested. It's just sad. It's just very fucking sad. So sad world. Yeah. Story of our life.
I hope she's okay.
Yeah.
I hope she's okay.
I hope that they sue the police department and at the very minimum get counseling for the child.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you just have one blank while black?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, cool. And so Sounds About White. Do you have one of those?
Oh, Sidney. You know, I hate that we have come back again full circle. In Sounds About White, we have a story titled Giddy Up, Up, and Away.
Oh, is there another horse on a plane?
Freckle Butt Fred flew from Michigan to Dallas to Ontario, California, ... and back. This is an emotional support pet that is, yes, a pony, a 115-pound pony that flew on another airplane. We have horses flying every day, people. So the owner of this animal has Crohn's disease. So she says she has severe attacks, and that Fred can hand her things if she points at them. So she bought herself a ticket and I believe a second first-class ticket so that the animal would have room to stand between her legs, and the back of the seat in front of her, I suppose. And they took 6 flights together. But so as of right now, it is still legal to fly with, I guess, whatever, up to a miniature pony if that is your support animal. So there have been ducks, there have been pigs, there have been dogs, of course, and cats, and ferrets, and miniature ponies. So let's just get right to it. White people, please. It is hard enough to smell a human fart on a plane. I don't need to smell methane gas when flying in an airplane. Please stop taking your ponies on planes. Please. And here's the thing. I firmly believe that people should be able to have access to their support pet, for whatever it is. I don't care if it's because you have anxiety, depression, or because you have, if you're blind, or if you have an invisible disease like Crohn's disease that other people can't see. They don't see that you have a physical issue, so they, like to judge you. I fully support your right to have your pet. However, please stop taking horses on planes. This just doesn't, please stop taking your animals and just in general almost on planes where other people have to be. There are people with allergies. There are people with extreme phobias of animals. And more importantly, like I said, there are people who don't want to smell methane gas while flying 30,000 feet in the sky to get lightheaded and pass out from the smells of your horse farts. And that's it for Sounds About White. Just stop taking your horses on planes, people. Just change them out for a Maltese, a poodle, or something like that. Okay. The end.
The end. All right. Well, that's interesting. I wouldn't want to smell a pig fart.
What? I don't even want to hear a pig oink. I'm on this plane. I've already paid $5 million for my teensy tiny ass seat and another $521,000 to check one bag. And then you want me to smell animals? I did not ask to board a flying farm. I am on an airplane trying to get to where I need to go.
You're not on Noah's Ark.
Exactly. A flying Noah's Ark. I feel like next week I will have another story about a flying horse.
Okay. Well, it sounds like we got to get used to it. Horses, pigs. The ferret I don't mind so much, but these large animals, I just keep thinking about, like you were saying, about their ears popping, which is not something I thought about until you said it.
About what? Oh, their ears popping?
About their ears popping, yeah. That took me out. Shit,
it be popping baby ears. I could only imagine.
Exactly. So, yeah. I never thought I'd see a horse fly. And now you can say that, though. You know how your parents be trying to be smart? Yeah, you can such and such when horses fly. You can be like, well, that's today.
Well, they happen all the time. Thank Caucasians for that.
I wonder how long. Well, so you said Flirty was the first horse, right? First miniature pony.
I don't remember if it said she was the first because it was already written in the laws that they could have a miniature pony. Like it was an animal up to a certain pound. I just know Flirty was certainly the first one I had seen. But the fact that Freckle Butt Fred has followed up in the flying world with her. First of all, change the names of these goddamn animals. Second of all, stop taking them on planes.
I'm about to see if I can find freckle butt Fred on the internet.
Oh man. Okay. Well, let's move on. Sexpectation. Sydney has been traumatizing me.
Oh my God. Yes.
Sydney has been antagonizing me for the past couple weeks about how every time she says anything, I can hear an evil grin over the phone, and how she says that she has sexpectations questions for me. So I am, to say the least, not excited.
All right, and here we go.
Oh,
I just want to know, it's probably not going to be as bad as you thought. It's really not as bad as you thought. I just think it's funny, so that's why I've been smiling. Would you sell your vagina as a fragrance, either in candle form or incense?
Absolutely.
You see what I mean? That wasn't that bad.
I stand a Gwyneth Paltrow and a Erykah Badu.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. So for anybody who does not know out there, Erykah Badu has sold her the scent of her vagina in incense form, following up Gwyneth Paltrow, who was the first that I know of to sell her vagina scent as a candle. And they both sold out. Erykah Badu's incense sold out in 19 minutes. And I think that is brilliant. Apparently some man somewhere felt the need to put it in his mouth. And he said it tastes good, even though I don't think it tastes like her vagina because it's an incense. But I just want to know what
pussy rules the world. I say if you can bottle it up and sell it, then fucking do it.
I thought it was brilliant. I thought Erykah Badu would be the first to do something like that. But when I found out Gwyneth Paltrow had done it, I was like, oh wow, there are other people out here like Erykah Badu. I thought she was like the only one who would do such a thing. But I did think it was very dope. I am here for it. I just was.
What if you could pussitize a lollipop, a hard candy, if you will?
You should kept that to yourself so you could have did it first. Now somebody's gonna beat you to it. And you know what's weird? I was talking to one of my classmates.
It ain't about who did it first. It's about who did it right. You know what I'm talking about? You can pussitize yo yoni over there, but I'm plant-based, so my pussitize lollipop and hard candies is gonna be better than the average. You dig?
You dig. Hashtag you dig. Hashtag humble yourself. What was I about to say? That's brilliant. I like how your mind works, honestly. But I was talking to my classmate about how because he was like, I didn't want to be weird. I wanted it, but I didn't want to get it because I thought it would be weird. I was like, there are just certain things that you just can't worry about. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't worry about what people are going to think about your sexuality if you as a woman bought that incense. Because I was like, I'm so intrigued that I would buy it. Because I just want to know what the incense smells like. And I don't even know. It don't even got to be close to what her actual vag smells like. But I just want to know what they put in this incense to do such a thing. Yeah. Same thing?
I think, I doubt it even smells like her actual vagina because... Well, I don't really know how you would do that, but I think it just has more to do with the hormones and pheromones, like how they make perfume. They do the same thing with perfume, so I don't know. But this is a weird thing about me, and I just told Mara this the other day, that I like the smell of my deodorant when it mixes with my actual scent. Okay. So I'll just be driving down the road and I don't stick my nose in my armpit, but when I get a whiff of my armpits, when it, I have deodorant on, it smells clean, but it don't smell like it does on the stick. It just smells different when it's on my skin. I like that smell. It's intriguing. And I feel like if that's how excited I get because my face is so close to my armpits, I can only imagine the just sheer joy of a pussy scented incense.
We're going to name this episode Aisha Vag Incense for Everyone.
Wow. For everyone. No. You probably have to send in a urine sample and a cash up of $400,000 to get it.
Oh, okay. I like that you're setting this bar high. Yes, ma'am. I wonder how much Erykah Badu's incense costs.
Oh, that's a good question.
I should have looked that up. But see, I was telling my classmate, I was like, yeah, I would have bought it as long as it wasn't ridiculously priced.
Yeah.
Let's see. Erykah Badu incense. I don't even know how to spell incense.
Oh, wow. INC.
Oh, she also has a song called Incense. Oh, they're $50.
Oh, okay, see, I wouldn't pay $50.
$50 vagina scented incense sells out in minutes.
I would pay like
See, now,
$20.
but how many do I get? How many do I get for $50 though? Is what I need to know. Because if it's one, that's intense.
Oh yeah, so that's
Like,
what I imagine.
people-
I imagine like a one, but I guess if it's like the ghetto gas stations that have like the pack of like 20 sticks or whatever for like $2-3, that would make sense. I would spend $50 for like a bunch of them, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I'm like, I imagine because you're a celebrity, it's like one.
Yeah, probably.
Like it's some ridiculous shit. Like you get to experience this once. But you know what?
I wonder
did
how much
eat
she
50
stocked
I did-
to have sold out. That's a better question.
Right. I did eat $50 chicken wings, so I guess I'm always here for a one time in a lifetime experience. So I guess if I was making my my full time check, I probably would have bought it even if it was just one, so I could say that I was one of the people that experienced that. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I'm very here for this black woman monetizing her vagina in this way.
I'm always here for sex work because I think it's genius.
So yeah, I am interested in this vagina lollipop of yours, though.
Okay.
And see, that's what I mean. Like,
I'll work
I
on
have
it.
I have no interest in eating vagina, but I do feel like more than just
But sucking it is
straight
fine.
men are gonna buy this lollipop. Because I need to know. I don't know.
I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna figure out how to lollipopitize my pussy.
Well, you'd have to get somebody else to tell you that, though.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
No. It's simple.
You know what your vagina tastes like?
Yep. I do.
Okay. I don't want to ask how.
I'm weak
leave that where
because
it's
you
at.
know what's funny? I know how many people be like, "Oh my god!" When I listen to the living room, I be yelling at my phone or my speaker, or whatever, and I be like, "Yo, somebody right now is yelling at their speaker like, I know what mine tastes like." Oh
gosh,
wow!
I'm
What a
dead.
sick world you people live in. And by you people, I mean me.
I'm sure you do. Oh my gosh, you're so vulgar. All right, Queen. You said you were gonna roll your sexpectation question
Oh,
over.
you
so
know
are you
what?
still
I
doing
really
it?
hoped you forgot that.
No, I didn't.
All right, so my sexpectation question for Sid the Great is, what is in your browser history for your porn? I can't wait. I can't wait. I think it's gonna
I
be
don't
like
even know what that means.
Asian on BBC or something.
What's BBC?
Oh my god, that's what white people call black penises. You know they like the C word.
You think I watch?
I'm just no. That's why I asked. I need to know. The people need to know. This is our sexpectation question. You know, this is basically truth or dare.
I don't know what's in my browser history. I be on private. I be in a private browser, so it don't save.
Okay, but you know what it is.
No, I don't.
You don't know what you search?
No.
Wait, do you use Pornhub?
I plead the fifth.
Oh my god!
I use YouPorn and Pornhub.
Okay, I like Pornhub.
Which
I don't
might be
think
the
I've
same
even
thing.
ever used any other type of browser. I think I've literally.
You know what's interesting? I really want to. I wish I could go back to the day that I logged on for the first time,
Me too. I wish I was there. Actually, I wish I was a fly on the wall.
So that I can remember what I typed in to find that.
I'm gonna share.
Because you know what?
I'm gonna share a very
Huh?
embarrassing story. Are you ready?
Okay.
So when I was growing up, we had dial-up. So,
Oh, God.
So basically, if somebody called the phone, it could knock the internet connection. If somebody picked up our phone, like while I was on the internet, it would knock you off the computer. Me and my brothers used to do that to each other all the time. If we wanted to use the phone for something, we would just knock each other off the internet. And it was so miserably slow that if I wanted to watch a video, let's say that was 10 minutes long, on God, it's going to take like 6-7 hours. Like, it's so bad. So you would have to like click it, press like play, and then press pause and just let it fully download until it was done. And then you could press play and watch it all the way through. So, how old was I? I don't know. Maybe like 13 something. I don't know. And I was like, okay, I'm a grown woman now. It's time to watch porn. So I had an internet called Juno, and it was dumb slow. So what I would do was, when I started, I don't remember like the first day I picked it up to try it. But when I realized, I'm like, okay, I can't watch all this video like at one time. So what I'm going to have to do is, my bus came at like 6:15 in the morning, 6:22 to be exact. And so we would get up at like 5:30, and I would get ready super fast, and then I would go to the living room, and I would get on the internet. I would like search me a porn, and all I knew to search was black porn. That's all I would search. So I don't even know what website it picked, but I would search like a black porn, and I would just click a video and be like, this looks like something I want to watch, like just based off the thumbnail. I would click it, and I would press play, and then as soon as I saw it start downloading, I would press pause, and then I would put the screen on screensaver, and then I would go to school, and when I got home from school, I would run to the computer and then I would take it off. I would like log back in and see how much it had loaded, and I would watch it like right there, fresh out of school.
Oh my God.
3:57 in the afternoon, get to watching, because I was like, I gotta see it before my brothers like, get home, they get inside and all that stuff. Like, I gotta be able to watch it real quick so I can see what happened during the fucking 12 hours I was at school or some shit. I need to see what happened. And yeah, usually my mom would be like, at work all day, so she didn't mess with the computer. She never even got on the computer, and if she did, she would have to log into her side, so she wouldn't have seen what I was downloading like on my personal page of the internet. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah. And then one day, so we had a porch on the back of our house, and you could see into the living room from it. And I guess one day I was like watching it at night, and my brothers came in. My brother and his friend, I guess, had seen what I was watching. And we had got into an argument one day, and my brother's friend had blurted out something about, oh, what, do you need to use a computer? And I knew exactly what he was talking about, and I was like, oh, they saw what I was watching. And when I looked at the video that was most recent, it was like some chick riding the fuck out of this dude. It was like zoomed in on his balls and going into her vagina, and I was like, oh no, my brother saw the porn I was watching. Not only did they see what I was watching, but they watched me watch it.
Oh no.
So basically,
wait, I'm sorry. Wait. I'm sorry. I'm a little confused here. So you, okay, I get the part that you said you would load it before you went to school, which, wow, what a horn dog. If that was the first thing you thinking when you got it's like a full-time job. So okay, I get that part. Then you leave it up, and then you would go. So you came home and they watched you watch it?
So what happened was, once it would like load, I would save it so that I wouldn't have to wait to like reload it all the time. So I think I saved it like to my computer. So it was like saved like with my pictures and videos or something. So once it would load, like I would save the whichever one I loaded, I would save it so I could watch it whenever I wanted instead of having to wait to download all day. I had to figure out the tricks, okay? So, I would just be randomly watching it. So one day, like, my brother's friend was over, but they had gone to, like, my cousin's house who lived next door. And they probably, like, came home and just snuck on the porch just to see what I was doing, like, in the living room. And they probably saw me on the computer. And so there was, like, our blinds were kind of janky. Like, they were, like, cracked and fucked up and broken and shit. Like, and, like, on the ends, you got, like, that one piece of blind missing on them cheap blinds. I think they saw what I was doing from there. Cause I was like watching them chilling, and then I hear the door, so I like exit off of it, whatever. I started watching something else or whatever, and they didn't say nothing to me that day. But then like later on, like the next day or some shit, they were talking about something like, "Oh, you need to use a computer." And I'm like, "Oh my God, they saw me watching porn."
Yo, your embarrassing stories are always the realest.
They're always super embarrassing. They're not no regular embarrassing shit. Oh my God, how awful.
They're not.
My head hurt now.
They're not.
My head hurt now. I'm logging.
I'm
leaving the living room now.
Oh gosh, yeah. After that, you must. But just think about it. One day, people will be sucking your vagina lollipop.
Exactly. It's called being an entrepreneur. When I was super young, I didn't even know what it was coming.
You gotta name it something after that embarrassing situation.
Oh my God, my ears are hot right now. That's how embarrassed I am.
Like caught watching porn by my brothers. Lollipop available now.
Oh my God, so embarrassing, and it was so expensive.
Or maybe the slogan could be "Don't get caught sucking this."
I
don't know.
Pornhub got like a section that's called like for women porn or something like that. It's supposed to probably be like some feminist porn where they like treat you nice and like make you the sandwich when you get done fucking or something. Like, I have never clicked on it. I literally like, nope, give me that rough, raunchy, janky shit, that disrespectful shit. I have never watched the for women one. It's probably like really good. They probably give the girls foot massages and shit. Never seen it.
Or maybe not.
Never seen
or maybe
it.
It's,
so since I was a lad, it's always been the explicit shit.
Wonderful. I'm glad to know that. I would like to say that in this particular, I am tapping out of Sexpectations. This is where I draw the line. I'm going to fully pull an Angela Bassett and say, I'm not answering that. And say that, but I will say this, just to leave the people guessing, that if you were to ever find out, what's in my browser history, as far as it relates to porn, that you would probably change your opinion of me.
You said that I would change it?
No, the people. Everyone.
That everyone would change their opinion?
Yeah, they probably start.
That's even better than knowing the real answer.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
So
that is funny to me. My God.
I can't believe you asked me that. You always go too far. I feel like this is like play fighting with you. You always go too far.
I am so weak, and I'm not playing. This is better than knowing what it actually is, because I'm just going to turn on my little judgy brain and just start thinking. Actually, I'm about to get on Pornhub and just scroll through the categories.
Yeah. Go ahead. Let's see what we find, actually. Let's do this live for the people.
No, that's enough. That's enough. This is a long podcast. Oh, my God. That is so fucking funny.
Okay. I want to ask you back, but I'll save that for
I basically just told you. The raunchy shit.
I know, but that's not telling me anything. I'm guessing it's black on black. Do you still watch black on black porn?
What I will not look at is a white penis. So I'll look at white girls, but I won't look at like white penis. I can't do it. I don't like that little pink shit. I'm not trying to see that. A white dude sent me a penis picture once, and I almost called the police, dead ass, because I was like, "This, I have never in my life solicited this, and I don't want this, and somebody needs to be arrested for this." So
was this in college? I feel like I remember this. Was this in college?
God, I don't even remember. I don't remember who it was or why. I think wasn't it just like on Instagram or something? I don't remember. No, I don't know. I just remember I was traumatized. That's probably why my brain is blurring it all out.
I feel like I was there for this. Like, I feel like I remember, but maybe not.
Probably.
Maybe not.
Oh God, how traumatizing! It pink. Oh, I don't want to see that. Ugh.
I don't know what it is about white. Well, I don't know what it is about black girls and pink penises. Pink penises don't they don't freak me out. I don't watch white porn. I will say that much. I don't want nobody. Don't judge me in that way. I don't want you getting the wrong idea. But I do watch black on black porn, but I don't understand what it is with black girls being so grotesque.
Obviously not all, because there are plenty of black girls who love them a white boy. I will say, if I ever had to see a white penis, not that I'm trying to make this come to fruition, but probably also wouldn't mind. If I ever had to see a white penis, it would have to be that of Travis Kelce or David Beckham.
I don't know who Travis Kelce is.
Oh, he's that fine ass white boy. He had like a show on VH1 called I don't know, Love Travis something. I don't remember. But he's like a redhead actually, which is kind of creepy. But
oh, I see him. He's a football player.
Yeah, he's fine. He got a fine black girlfriend right now too. But so there'd be plenty of those girls, because they'd be like, "Whoo, I do love me a white boy," and I'd be like, "Whoo," and I'm not mad at you, because I believe love is love for the most part. I, however, just don't want to see a white penis, because they're gross to me.
I'm typing white penis on
oh my God, what is this podcast? Welcome to the living room. This is how we get down in the living room, for real. You just never know.
Obviously.
We're gonna talk about black rights and abortions and porn. We're gonna talk about it all.
Yep. Absolutely. So I'm glad that's over, because I broke into a nervous sweat.
We can't see your browser, Sidney. You good.
No, and honestly, I was like, what if you ever this already happened to you, maybe because you got it all out your system now, you've already been embarrassed about your porn history, but sometimes I'd be thinking, like, what if I had a heart attack in the middle of viewing porn and somebody came in and my browser history was up?
You know what?
I would kill myself.
You know what would be even worse? if you had a heart attack, but it kept playing, playing next video, and then it took you to a dark rabbit hole of like, God, what the fuck was she watching? You're like, no, I swear to God, I had my heart attack 20 videos ago.
Never even thought about that. Thank you for making my nightmare not seem so bad. Alrighty then. Is mental health check-in next?
No, ma'am. I need you to know
Black
the.
on
I
Black
need you to know the
support.
order of the show. That's what I need.
We haven't been doing it for a year yet,
All right. Okay. Well,
so I still have time to learn.
Black on Black support. I have 2, and I'm just gonna go ahead and knock it out because Sidney's over there thinking about porn. So I'm just gonna give us some time to get innocent. Okay. Taraji
thank
P
you.
Henson has launched a hairline products sold exclusively at Target at the Target. So it has, shampoos, conditioners, pomade kinds of things. And we all know that Taraji's hair be the fuck laid. So shout out to Taraji P. Henson. I wish her nothing but success, especially because she traumatized me so much with Proud Mary. So I want her to have all good things from here on out. But yeah, she said she created this hairline because she wanted to maintain healthy hair and a healthy scalp because she was wearing so many wigs, weaves, and installs, etc. For her work as an actress. So yeah,
Shout
she
out
said
to
it is
Taraji P. Henson because I love her.
the perfect line for taking care of your natural hair. So I want to get a hold of it. Not that I have very much hair anymore, but I want to get a hold of it just to like read the ingredients because as we all know, Black natural hair care products oftentimes are not healthy at all for our hair, for our scalp,
right.
for our literal physical health. It is not usually healthy for us. So I would like to get a hold of it to read it. And it would be really dope to be able to talk to her and talk about the process of putting together the hair care line. Because it's easy enough to be like a hair company, be like, hey, we're making this brand. We want you to be the face of it. That is easy enough. I kind of want to know if she had a hands-on and did like research, etc., and actually helped put together the hair care line versus just slapping her name on a brand. So yeah, I would like to find out more information about that. But if you have not checked it out so far, it is at the Target. So go check it out. There are tons of reviews already on YouTube talking about how much they like or even dislike the product. So check it out and let us know what you think of her hair care line.
Yeah, that's dope. I love Taraji. I will support all of the things she does, but I really do hope that it's like a healthy. It would be great if it were like all organic, all vegan. But again, I understand we are all at different places in our journeys, so I still commend her for getting this product out here and for caring about Black hair and all that good stuff. So I hope it is clean, and if it is not, hopefully again she will also be on her journey be like, oh well, I didn't know that this was bad for your hair, and I'll take it out if that is even in there. I'm saying so.
Yeah, absolutely. And next, lastly, for my Black on Black support, I am shouting out Ramona Hood, who is the first Black female CEO of FedEx. She started with the company in 1991 as a receptionist. She wanted a job where she could work very normal hours so that she could still go to school. So she did go to school to get her bachelor's in business and also went on to get her MBA. So now she is one of the CEOs for, oh gosh, I forgot what it was called. But anyway, a CEO for the FedEx company.
That's
it's
dope.
really,
That's
really
super
dope. Very proud of her. Very happy for her. It seems like really, really cool, like that kind of story, because a lot of those like positions are not going to be hired like within a company. It's like, outsourcing to this big dog from this former CEO of this company, people who kind of already know the ropes or what have you. And she got literally to start as a receptionist and worked her way up to where she is today as a CEO. So that is really fucking dope. Shout out to you, Queen.
Absolutely. Yeah, shout out to her. For Black on Black support, I would like to shout out someone we have featured on our podcast on many occasion, Xavier Brody, who is doing his Bad Ones t-shirts right now, which you can get from Xavier. I'm not sure if there's a link. I should have looked into all of that good stuff. But anyway, he has come out with these shirts that on the front they say X Brody, on the back they say Bad Ones. They are representative of his newest single, Bad Ones, and all of the proceeds from the shirts, if you purchase one, are going to a foundation that will help women, and he's trying to find one. At least last time I talked to him, he was trying to find one that would help Black women particularly. And Khalil was saying that the best thing he can do is kind of like narrow down and figure out like what exactly about Black women he wants to help with, and it'll probably help him to find a foundation. But either way, no matter what he chooses or what he goes with, if you purchase a shirt from Mr. Brody, you will be helping women or Black women somewhere do something great, and I think that is super dope and very I think femme forward.
Exactly.
I think that's super dope. I'm very happy, again, to have the people in my life who are in my life. Like all of my friends, close friends are very femme forward, future forward, people forward. And I think that's really, really cool. They're out here doing things, trying to learn and be better. And I think that's super dope. So shout out to Xavier for thinking of this and then, putting in the work to make it a, something to put action behind and putting action behind it. So shout out to Xavier Brody.
Absolutely. Shout out to you, Xavier Brody. Super proud of you. You can check out his music on all the platforms. X Brody. Yeah, really dope. I got my shirt.
Yes, and you can go to his.
I got my shirt.
You can go to his Instagram page.
2 days ago. I
Sorry,
posted
my bad.
it on Instagram yesterday. But yeah, it's a really cool shirt. It's a plain black shirt. Name on the front, bad ones on the back. Pretty good for a dope cause. So check it out. Support. If you love a black woman, definitely support.
Yes, absolutely. We love black men who love black women.
Ooh, woo.
So, heck yeah.
Favorite kind.
Down with that. No lie. All right. Now it is time for mental health check-in. I know this. That part of the show.
Absolutely.
Okay, so mine is actually, it goes back to what you said earlier. Basically, supporting our LGBTQ people out here in the streets. When I was reading about Dwayne Wade, I found an article that brought up some statistics, and it was saying, according to the Human Rights Campaign, according to the Human Rights Campaign's 2019 Black and African American LGBTQ youth report, 77% of black youth said they have heard family members say negative things about LGBTQ people. 47% have been taunted or mocked by family for being LGBTQ, and only 19% can definitely be themselves at home. It says that 67% of black trans youth specifically say their families make them feel bad because of their trans identity. And then it says, as a result, 80% say they feel depressed or down because of a lack of acceptance. And then, like you said earlier, nearly half of black transgender people have attempted suicide. So with those statistics, basically, I wanted to say for mental health check-in, check on somebody in your life that you may know personally, that is in the LGBTQ community, and just say, hey, I love you, I support you, I do, do your thing, I just want you to know I'm here for you. Or maybe if you feel like you've done some harm to someone, but you feel like you've grown from it, maybe you can reach out and now give them your support, apologize for, your shortcomings in the past, or just anything that you think might be helpful to this community, because they are suffering on a very large scale. As we can see, only 19% feel like they can be themselves at home. This is in their house, in their home, they feel this way. So imagine how they feel being out here at school, at the grocery store, in the mall, just doing regular people things, how, they don't feel like they can be themselves and can't even feel like they can be themselves at home. So that was mine, kind of keeping with our LGBTQ theme for this episode of the podcast. So, yeah, that's my mental health check-in.
Okay. Mine is to take a day off. I think even on this podcast, we pushed like, oh, if you want to go attack it every day, take a step forward every single day, do something that gets you closer, make sure that whatever you're doing is putting you closer to your goals and not further, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If you fall off, get right back on. And I think we underestimate the power, or at least speaking of the power of taking a day off. That doesn't mean, take yourself back a few steps and be unproductive, but you can take a day off, people. Like even Beyonce says she allows herself 24 hours, okay, to be sad or upset about something, and then gets right back on the horse. And taking time off is nothing to beat yourself up over. If you are working, extremely hard on your goals, it's okay to take a day where you don't even look at your phone, you don't look at the time, you do whatever the fuck you feel like doing for that whole day. Go get your nails done. Massage your scalp with some oils, take a bubble bath, drink some wine, go walk outside, go to a park, do whatever it is that you want to do. Get a book and write in it, write whatever you want, write whatever your feelings are. They don't have to be, directed towards a goal. You could like pick up a book and be like, hey, it's hot outside and I'm sweating, I'm perspiring a little bit, and I forgot to put on deodorant and now I smell weird and I'm outside and you write whatever you want. Like the point is to take time off and to not always take yourself so seriously. There is plenty of time in the world to take yourself seriously. Matter of fact, we literally work more than we live. We work 5 days a week and we live, quote unquote, 2 days a week, in general. So take time to live for yourself a little bit and to love on yourself and to say, hey, girl, I've been really hard on you lately. let me take time to just love on you. I have not done my lip scrub in a while. Maybe I'll do that today. Just take time to love on yourself, and don't beat yourself up, because guess what, girl? The world is going to do plenty of that. So take time to love on yourself, just like you should feel safe and at home and protected within your family, your safe haven of your house. You should be able to do that within yourself as well. You should feel the safest with yourself.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's my mental health check.
I'm here for that. Alrighty. And as you all know, we like to close our show out with some good old affirmations. Like to leave you, feeling inspired for your week, your day, your month, your year, whenever you're listening to this. So I think I went first on the last segment, so I'll let you go first, Queen.
Okay, thanks, Queen. You're so considerate. What a considerate queen.
I try.
I stand.
Do what I can.
I stand. So I just wanted to say, as always, to call someone that you love. If they are crossing your mind even right now as we finish off this podcast, call them, text them. My favorite of favorites is a handwritten letter or a card in the mail. People underestimate the power of written words and spells so much. So just call and love on somebody, and that you will also get that love back. I don't know too many people who are like me in the sense of liking cards or liking to write per se, but because people know how much I love it, so many people love me so much that they love me the way that I want to be loved. So they see that I like to write letters and cards and like to really verbalize how I'm feeling about people and write it down or what have you. So a lot of my friends do that back for me as well. And it makes them feel better, but they're doing it because they love me and they want to love me the way I want to be loved. And I appreciate that so much. And I hope that we cannot underestimate that power. So reach out to somebody that you love. Tell them that you're just thinking about them. We see how short and precious life is. So just reach out to somebody if you had an argument with your granny, your grandpa, your mom, your brothers, your best friend, your boyfriend, whatever. If you had an argument with somebody, just reach out in love. And it doesn't mean that everything always has to go back to quote unquote normal, but just make sure that you're always moving in love, and that if you get into an argument with somebody or you have a disagreement or something, that you don't have to be wrong to reach back out to somebody. You don't have to wait for their apology or what have you. You can just be like, you know what, I'm moving in love, and we can move forward from this or not. But what I will say is that I don't wish ill on you. I wish nothing but love, peace, and happiness. And if we can come back together, that's awesome. If we can't, that's still awesome, because I will still wish you nothing but the best. I don't wish bad on people. So
right.
That is my affirmation. I also wanted to shout out Book of the Month. I finally am trying to get on track with it. So for the month of February, I finished the book, The New Jim Crow. And so as far as affirmation goes, it really helps me with my mental health to be focused on what's important to me. There's a lot of things that I want to accomplish in life, but one of the most important things that I want to be remembered for is knowing that I did my best with what I had from where I was to be of service to my community, no matter what that is. Right. That's reading my history and educating the youth, or volunteering, or telling somebody in a oppressed or marginalized community that I love them and don't judge them. Then that's what I want to be remembered for. So find a good book, cuddle up with it, get to reading. Black history does not stop. It's 365. Beautiful people.
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. And my affirmation, and again, keeping with my LGBTQ theme, is to be an ally. Taking the time to research just for this podcast, learning about trans children and transitioning in general for people. I literally just hit me like, wow, it literally took me 2 seconds to go, I don't know about whatever this is. Let me look it up real quick. And now I feel like, and it's just one article, I'm sure there's much more to be read, but I definitely feel more informed than before. I think that it's very easy to react out of emotion, and I think it's very easy, and it just comes second nature to attack. And it's very sad to me. So if anything, like you were just talking about moving in love, like if anything, if it means not saying anything on social media, even if you disagree, like I just think, again, it's just about trying to move in love and support people and understand that people are just trying to be people. That's it. Like even Zaya, like maybe she wishes she didn't have to be a political statement, but because of how trans people are treated, like she kind of has to be, you know what I'm saying? Because she's famous on top of that too. Like you were saying earlier, like because Dwayne Wade is famous, people were going to see this person who was once a boy that's now a girl. So something had to be said and addressed, I personally feel like, and that's unfortunate, but you know, it comes with fame. So I think, again, just moving in love and trying to be an ally is my affirmation, because I know people are literally just trying to be people. I don't think that this is just a choice and because people just want to be persecuted or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like I think this is what these people really feel, and I think they deserve to be loved and treated with respect, decency, and kindness, because they, at the end of the day, are still human beings at the end of the day, no matter what you identify as, no matter what your race is. So my affirmation is to be an ally, to move in love, to support people the best that I can, and to seek knowledge when I don't know about something.
I want to throw one more thing in there. So something that was really eye-opening for me as far as being an ally and understanding what that means, because I firmly believe that I have a long way to go. But wow, if you would have talked to Aisha a year ago, you would have had totally different ideals about the trans community. And I'm proud of my growth to where I am now, but I still believe that I have so much more to learn. And again, I'm proud of D. Wade and Gabrielle Union and all parents of transgender children that read the books, that reach out to the community to understand how to deal with their children or their family members or what have you, their friends. I applaud that. And I also want to be an ally for marginalized and oppressed communities. So something that was really eye-opening for me, I listened to a podcast called Horrible Decisions with Mandy and Weezy. There was an episode on October 13th, 2019. You can find it on Apple Podcasts. That's where I listen to it. It's episode number 136 called Am I Transphobic? Featuring Hope Giselle and Tahoe. And it is one of my favorite episodes of any podcast that I have ever listened to, because it really, a lot of it punched me in the stomach, slapped me in the face, because I listen to the read as well, and they also have very strong opinions, but sometimes their passion keeps me from understanding, because they know what they're thinking and they know what they're saying, but they don't necessarily articulate it in a way that's like, well, I don't agree. Can you help me to understand? Because I mean, it's not even other people in a marginalized community's job to educate you. They're not the ones who are ignorant. We are. So I listened to the podcast number 136. Am I Transphobic? And it features a straight black man basically talking to a transgendered woman and a queer woman, basically about their experience, who they are, and how to understand them, I guess, in a way. But he asked the questions that probably we all want to ask. And even if you're not trying to be offensive or ignorant, you may not understand that some of the things that we ask and say come off that way. So he asked the questions, I feel like, that are not as PC as people like to things to be, but it's like, well, if you want me to understand, I'm gonna have to understand on my way and by my way of asking, because I'm not where you are. I don't understand like you do. So I listened to that podcast, and I encourage men, women, straight, gay, lesbian, whatever you identify as, it does not matter. To listen to that makes you understand, wow, I have a long ways to go, and I don't have to understand today, but at least I'm on a process to get me closer to understanding and respecting people, no matter what or how they believe and move. Like, I want to respect people, and I want to understand that I want respect, I want to feel safe, and I want that for other people as well. I can't just want that for me. I can't just want that for black women. I can't just want that for black people. I have to want that for everybody, to be loved and respected for who they are. So I encourage you to listen to that episode if you truly want to be an ally.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. Well, I have been Sid the Great.
And I am Aisha Damali. It has been 2 hours on this black ass podcast. So, with all due respect, get the fuck out the living room. We'll see you next time. Peace.
I can't say no to you. I can't say no. I can't say no. To you anywhere. They don't even know I love you on the low. You can have it if you don't tell. Give me you, I give you all of me. I wanna feel you so